2019 Week 3 college football predictions and picks coming at you right now.
Warning. All prediction and preview videos are recorded on the Friday prior to the week of the games covered. As a result, any injuries, benchings, and any and all information available to me and each team's last performance are unknown at the time of recording. As the season goes on, these will be more and more accurate. In other words, enjoy.
Alright, so since these are recorded on Fridays, I of course don't have the spreads for you, but I do have scores and excellent reasons as to how I derived at those scores. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now, week 1, I was 17-8 against the spread, as well as first place on my channel's Yahoo College Football Pick'em. Still, I kind of want to let it be known that these picks are just for fun, kind of like Game Day does at the end of their segment right before the game starts. But if you are taking them seriously, look below. I'll pin a comment once the spreads come out. I'll let you know anything I would change from what I said in this video. Okay, who's up first? Friday night game at home against Washington State for us. Who do you like? Houston? Perfect. Thank you for picking us. No, you didn't let me finish. I was going to say Houston. I really want to pick you. Honestly, I do. The problem is, I can't trust your defense. At the time of recording this, the last 2 games I've seen out of you, you gave up 70 to Army and 49 to Oklahoma. And that's a Jalen Hurts-led Oklahoma, not a Kyler Murray-led Oklahoma. The way you allow Jalen to play, though, I almost couldn't tell the difference. Those Pac-12 teams can really put up some points, and Wazoo actually plays a little bit of defense out there in Pullman. Give me the Cougs 38-26. What's on deck? We're taking on your beloved Ohio State Buckeyes. What's your opinion on that one? First off, I'm a Michigan fan, so if you say that mess on my channel again, I might not be able to cover you ever again. Consider that your friendly warning. Now, my Wolverines struggle against the Hoosiers every single year, but we always squeak by, barely. Ohio State tends to fare a little bit better against you. Last year, they beat you 49-26. Dwayne Haskins threw for 455 yards and 6 touchdowns. Paris Campbell caught 9 for 142 and 2 touchdowns. The problem with that is, Justin Fields can't throw as well as Dwayne Haskins can throw, and while Ohio State's current wide receivers are fast, I don't see anyone that's Paris Campbell fast. Not yet, at least. With those things in mind, and with this game being on the road, I of course like the Buckeyes, but a little bit closer than last year's affair, 40-27. All right, who do we have on the slate now? Me. What's wrong there, fella? We lost to North Carolina in the opener, Jake Bentley's out for the season, and now we have Bama coming into town. How much do we lose by? Actually, I think you pull off the upset. Really? No, not really. Not really at all. Okay, then how about a score prediction? Unfortunately, I don't get to see Helinski play before I'm making this prediction, but I did get to see the rest of your players play against North Carolina, and I've seen plenty of Bama. We all know Bama. Tua will have an absolute field day through the air in this game, and your run defense isn't very good either. You gave up 238 yards on the ground to the Heels. Bama will be angry all season long because of that championship loss. I'm going to continue to reiterate that. Look out in this one, South Carolina. 47-20. Bama rolls. Tied. Next, how about us on the road as a Power 5 team against one of the best Group of 5 teams over time, UCF? Why could this game not have been last year? Instead, we get this one with Brandon Wimbush and possibly Davis Mills, which I'm not knocking those guys. They're both very capable quarterbacks, one more so with his legs and one more so with his arm. I just would have loved to see the Costello-Milton matchup. That could have been one for the ages. I see UCF taking this one. As I always say, traveling all the way across the nation for a football game is already hard enough. Doing so without your star quarterback, should he be out, is even harder. If Costello does not play, I like UCF 31-27. If Costello does play, I think that whole traveling across the nation thing might not play as much of a factor. It might look a lot like the Boise State-Florida State game in the opening week, where the visiting team did not necessarily look like themselves, but they still found a way to get it together after halftime and win. In fact, just in bringing that up, let's have some fun with this one and go with that same score as the Boise State-Florida State game, 36-31 if KJ plays. Who we on now? Last year we lost on the road against Arizona State, 16-13. What do you think? Do we get revenge here in 2019? Come on. Of course you get revenge in this one. And I'm a Michigan fan, so I don't like saying that, but I gotta pick you here. On top of this being an obvious revenge game, this is also played at your place and not in Tempe. Somebody told me how to pronounce that and I forgot. The bigger thing for me though is no Manny Wilkins for the Sun Devils. He threw for 380 yards in this game last season. Also, N'Keal Harry is gone. He went for 6 catches and 89 yards. That's a lot of production gone. Now they do return Benjamin at running back, but obviously Michigan State is very good against the run. He only went for 27 yards on 13 carries, so 2.1 yards per carry. As a team, Arizona State actually did worse than that. 29 carries, 44 yards, 1.5 yards per carry. Did I mention that Michigan State's rush defense is scary good? I like Sparty in this game 31-13. I think they really come in and prove a point after a crushing defeat at the hands of the Sun Devils last season. Alright, I've covered Ohio State and Michigan State. You're not going to throw Notre Dame in on me, are you? Nah, they have a give-me game this week. We, however, have a tough one at home against our in-state rival, the Iowa Hawkeyes. Thoughts? What an excellent series this is. I love it. Now, the last time you guys had them at home, you lost a heartbreaker 44-41 in overtime. Then last year at their place, it was 13-3. The year prior to that overtime game, it was 42-3. I don't really know what happened there. So which is it? Are you guys going to play some defense or not? Now, I really like Nate Stanley. He's an Iowa quarterback that can absolutely sling it. I didn't love how the Cyclones looked in week 1 against Northern Iowa. Northern Iowa, of course, not a bad small football team, but not a great one either. These two teams as week 1 outings and the fact that Iowa has won 4 straight in this series is all I really have to go off of. With that said, I have to roll with the Hawkeyes here, 34-29. All right, let's shoot with some quick picks. Give them to me. We beat Kentucky for 31 straight years, and they finally got us good last year. We get back on a winning streak against them this time around, don't we? Now, I can agree with that mostly, but man, Mark Stoops is an excellent football coach. Don't expect to just roll into Lexington and play the way you did against Miami and come out with a win. I think you remember last season and really take this one to heart, but I suspect that this one will be a late night special and a close one. I like the Gators. 30-27. We beat Clemson in 2017, should have beat them in 2018, and now we have them back at home again in 2019. How you feeling about this one? Mark my words, Clemson curb stomps you this time around. I think they just absolutely throttle you. And the reason why is that you don't have Eric Dungy anymore, and you're no longer going to be able to take Clemson by surprise after 2 seasons of doing so. My only concern is with Clemson playing against Texas A&M, probably their hardest game of the season in the 2019 season, will they kind of be unprepared for this game? And then I thought about it, and well, this team's led by Dabo Swinney, so the answer's no. Clemson, big 45-19. At home at the Rose Bowl in an important game for us against the Oklahoma Sooners. Please say we have some sort of a shot in this game. Sorry, man. God don't like liars. I have no faith in Chip Kelly anymore, and even with how bad Oklahoma's defense can be, you shouldn't either. I think though, with it being in front of the home crowd, and with it being Hurts and not Kyler Murray, you play it closer than the 28 that you lost by last season. Okay, well that's at least something positive to go off of. Yeah, I guess. You only lose by 13 this time around. 41-28. We're in Charlottesville against a much improved and on the rise Virginia Cavaliers football team. Can we pull off the upset win on the road? Man, this is one of the most appealing upcoming games this week. If the Cavs were to win, assuming they don't blow it against Old Dominion the way their cross-state foes did last season, they're going to be 4-0 and likely ranked in the top 20 at least, heading into South Bend for an excellent matchup against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. You guys, though, have some motivation of your own. Your offense, at least in the first half, looked like a whole different unit against Boise State than what it did in 2018. The defense, of course, still has a long way to go, but they improved a little. That's not saying much though, and by a little, I mean a little. I think this is a big game for Willie Taggart. It would really be able to change the mood and emotion in Tallahassee if he were able to go into Charlottesville, steal a victory from Virginia, head back home to Tallahassee with smiles on their faces. So what do I think will happen? I think Taggart hasn't really given me a reason to believe that that's even a possibility. And when it comes to a game like this, you have to take the chemistry and the positive vibes that Virginia has going on and the momentum that they're gaining over tension and uneasiness at Florida State. The Wahoos are excited for this opportunity. They'll be ready to play. Let me get Virginia 36-30. Bro, if you pick against us once again, I might have to unsubscribe. We're at BYU. Take us. Trust me. Dude, I picked Fresno State in week 1 and you won that game. Now I won the point spread, but you won the game. And in week 2, I picked Stanford in a very hard to call game considering both backup quarterbacks will be playing. So if you win that one, don't you really actually kind of want me to pick against you? Kind of like the Lee Corso effect in some way. Now, had JT Daniels not torn his ACL, and by the way, I wish him a speedy recovery. God bless and best of luck to you, JT. I've torn both of my ACLs. I know that process, and my heart goes out to you. Prayers up. I think I'd roll with you guys here, but I can't now. A second string quarterback on the road against the number 18 defense in the nation in 2018 spells disaster. From that number 18 defense, a lot of those guys are returning, and that's just not a good recipe when you're trying to steal a victory at their place. It'll be very close, but I like the Cougars 25-23. Lastly, you have us in a 10:45 matchup against the Montana Grizzlies. How much do we win by? I don't really feel great about picking this one, not knowing the spread, but on top of that, all I really honestly know about Montana is that they're a very good team at their level. But come on, admittedly, I don't really follow Grizzlies football. Don't take my advice on this one. I have no real inkling in this game. Just for fun, I know I have a lot of Oregon Ducks fans, so I wanted to cover this one. I'm going to go ahead and say Oregon 43, Montana 23. All right, guys, that's it for today. I'll see you very, very soon for my college football fans week 2 videos, where I basically do quick, funny one-liners for every Power 5 team right through in relation to the week 2 games, as well as a lot of the better Group 5 teams. They're fun. I highly recommend you check it out when it comes out. Subscribe right here for the most fun, entertaining, and creative college football content all season long. Have a great day. God bless. The fire is out for now, but we'll get it back up and running again soon. Until then.